of his body. His doctor called up, like, other doctors to look at him because they'd never seen burns on top of existing burns. I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith drove his car off a cliff, broke both his legs? Hey, it's not a funny ha-ha story so much as it's a make-you-think story. For instance, windshields look pretty durable, right? Yeah, not the case according to Keith. Son of a bitch flew right through that sucker. My buddy Keith lived in a graveyard once for a whole year. It wasn't a dare or nothing. He just got kicked out of his house. He said he never saw a single ghost except this one time when a ghost stabbed him from behind and took all his money, and he might have just been a homeless guy because he had a robe on with two eyes cut out his face. My buddy Keith tried camping out on top of a building once. He was shooting crows, but the police were too busy tear gassing him to ask what he was doing up there. He screamed for an entire year every single time he opened his eyes. Oh, man. At first it was funny. Then it just got sad, but then it got funny again. Oh, man. I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith got rolled by a gator in a swamp? Man, he didn't agonize it or nothing. We were just trying to grab two so we could piss him off and get him into a fight. Well, anyway, the third time Keith went under, I realized something was wrong. So I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith drowned in the Tunnel of Love? You wouldn't think it could happen because the water's so shallow, but that's how he gets you, man. Overconfidence. Keith was with his lady at the time, and he was yelling for her to save him, but she didn't want to get wet. I ever tell you about the time me and Keith snuck a paintball guns on a roller coaster? I never heard of anybody else doing it, so I thought we might have invented a sport. So Keith called the patent office, but I ever tell you about the time me and Keith made homemade bumper car ride with ride mowers in his backyard? Mower blade wounds over 90% of his body. I didn't run him over either. He somehow managed to fall under his own. I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith fell out the roller coaster? Yeah, he didn't drop forward, mind you, just onto the tracks, but the carnival people wouldn't stop the ride because all the other people paid good money and Keith snuck on for free, so he had to dodge for like 20 minutes or so. One time, the Army bombed my buddy Keith. He went camping and didn't bother to read the signs, and I guess they were just testing bombs that day. All sorts of stuff, too, not just regular bombs, like biological nerve gas bombs, shrapnel bombs, these bombs that break up into the air to like 100 smaller bombs. I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith fell down an open manhole? He was unconscious down there for like a week. During that time, unbeknownst to Keith, they paved over him. Keith had to... I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith and I were on the top of a burning building and we had to fight our way down like 5 floors of zombie? Wait a second. I guess that was you guys. Oh, shit, man. I can't wait to tell Keith about that one. I ever tell you about the time me and Keith filled up water balloons with our own...
Oh, sweetie, can this wait? Now the best time?
Okay. This one time, my buddy Keith on a dare got a tattoo. I'm a moron. Right across his forehead, man. Of course, he made $200 off that, so you ask yourself, who's the real moron, huh? This one time, my buddy Keith started up a historic tour on account his mom took him to Colonial Williamsburg. And it's like a license to print money at them places. Now, you might ask yourself how an honest attempt to recreate the majesty of colonial times turned into raccoon fights at $5 a pop at Keith's backyard. Man, the answer to that particular question is that Keith is sharing a place with his two brothers and them being assholes who wouldn't let him do it anywhere but the backyard. Well, add that to Keith didn't technically have any, history to put on display, but he did have a whole family of raccoons living in the chassis of an old car. And you begin to understand. My buddy Keith had his car drop in a lake off a bridge just like this one here. Yeah, see, he was driving over it late at night, and there in the middle of the bridge was what looked like, in Keith's estimation, like a dead bear. So Keith gets out his car to find like a stick to poke at it, right? Well, it turns out it's just some lady's fur coat that must have fallen out her car. So, hey, free coat, right? Now, owls won't normally attack a man, but in this case they were hungry, and that made them reckless, man. Keith reckons they must have been there for hours watching what they thought was a bear carcass, because as soon as he picked it up, them owls had claws in him an inch deep. Well, Keith figures his best bet is to jump in a lake, because owls can't swim. Well, them owls could. He fought them for like 20 minutes treading water, and during that time a boat came, bridge went up, and down went Keith's car. Man, sometimes nature's just trying to teach us. if we'd only listen. I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith made sushi? Yeah, his mom took him to a sushi place for his birthday, and he didn't want to go, but he turned out he loved it, man. But it's like $10 a sushi at one of them places, so Keith figures, hey, how hard could it be to roll up some raw food and seaweed, right? As it turns out, it's hard. Now, they say experience is the best teacher, and experience taught Keith it kills you. Now, luckily, Keith's brain went into self-defense mode and started shutting orders down to head the chicken off at the pass, and the doctors were able to get him out before his heart stopped. But to this day, Keith has no sensation in his right foot. He doesn't recognize his brother Paul no more. Hey, y'all. Yeah, I like this bridge you got. This reminds me of my buddy.
Oh, you're leaving?
Just like this, man.
See ya.
Kinda, I mean,
I'm full is all.
and Keith was sure he could jump the river without the bridge, so I raised the bridge, and well, did you know cars could float? I mean, for a little while at least. I have to tell you about the time my buddy Keith got married? Of course not, that's a trick question. He never got married. You know, you hear about them runaway brides, right? Well, Keith was a runaway groom. You know, on his wedding day, it all started. I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith got married? Of course not, that's a trick question, because he never did get married. You know, you always hear about them runaway brides. Well, Keith, he was a runaway groom on his wedding day. Yep, all started. I tell you about the time my buddy Keith snuck into a wedding. He thought he was being smart, getting all dressed up and like, but it seems the preacher wasn't there, and they all thought he was the preacher. Well, he married him the best he could. I think that counts for him being married, but I don't know, maybe not. I think that ain't one of their.
Yep. Alright, see ya.
Oh my gosh, that's the prettiest girl I ever seen. Oh man, that was the prettiest girl I ever seen. Man, oh man. I jumped Jimmy Gibbs' car.
The all-new Nerf Super Soaker brings you more fun, action, and excitement than ever before for you and your friends. Introducing the all-new Burst Fire Hyper Mode. Click on the Hyper Burst mode for 3 streams of back-to-back high pressure for the ultimate spray down, delivering 66% more water, allowing you to output more damage than ever before, up to 8 damage in one shot. Or click back to the single fire mode for kinda alright accuracy. New Nerf Super Soaker. Magazines sold separately, batteries not included. First, let's look at some background history of the weapon. The Glock was originally developed as a safe-action pistol. So, instead of adding a safety to the gun, they just made the bullets harmless in the first place, so nobody could hurt themselves with it. Its polymer frame design makes it very lightweight, allowing you to throw it away with ease as you pick up a USP. Back in 1980, the tiny country of Austria, with their meme that they call a military, needed a sidearm to go along with the best gun they ever made. Since that gun was so easy to use to point and click, all the salty silvers were getting upset with them. The silvers were threatening to declare war on Austria by buying a bunch of auto snipers. So they had to compensate and make the Glock as useless as possible to balance out them making the god gun of the AUG. Now let's move on to some statistics of the weapon. The Glock, also known as the water gun, has a fairly fast movement speed, making it ideal for rushing sights. The Glock has a rate of fire of half a magazine before you get one-tapped. The reload speed is... actually, nobody really knows what the reload speed is since you either die instantly or pick up a USP. The damage on the Glock is equivalent to getting sand blown in your face when walking on a windy beach.
Fucking sad.
Next, let's move on to some gameplay tactics of the weapon. Using the Glock is pretty straightforward. It's a USP, but worse in every possible way. The damage on it is shit, it's loud, it's ugly, and it sucks. Although, it does have a nice running accuracy to it, so just imagine it's like a shotgun with its accuracy. Just put their heads in the middle of the circle and just keep tapping with mouse 1 until you get lucky. That's about it. Just don't stop moving or your head will get cut clean off by USP. Since the damage on it is fucking useless, you're gonna have to pray to the RNG gods that you get a headshot with it. Because good luck getting body shots at this thing. It becomes absolutely useless after round 1. You're literally better off with dualies than this thing. It's garbage. Just whatever you do, Don't lose to Glocks. Holy fuck. I can already imagine the spam in chat if you die to a full save against Glocks. We lose to Glocks! Another cool tactic with the weapon is that you can tilt your fellow teammates by surrounding them and making cricket sounds in your spawn. Hey, do you guys hear cricket sounds? Or you can simply go with the gangbanger approach. Yo, fucking drive by these fools with bitch-ass USPs. Get the fuck out of here with that weak-ass pea shooter shit. I'm gonna shoot the fucking pop cap in your ass that damn shit. So, that's all there is to using the water gun. Tune in next time as I teach you how to use the Big Mac 10. And remember, it's Nerf or nothing.
Notice one time my buddy came from the island. Alright. Top off my wither skulls. I mean, gold's easily enchantable, right? So all I have to do is... Wow! That was super fast. How much is it to disenchant? Experiments. 20, not bad. Yep, it's down to sand now. You can hear it going wah 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 wah. Chua 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 chua. Yeah, see? Baubles aren't compatible with it, so that's why I do that. Oops, wrong one. But yeah, new charm slot. Oh, so good. I guess Draconium is the final step besides mass producing mana and power. Which, I mean, power equals more power at this rate. Actually... See... Oh, 1 second.